Well, every time I have seen Mercédès come into the city, she has been accompanied by a tall, strapping, black-eyed Catalan with a red complexion, brown skin, and fierce air, whom she calls cousin. Really, and you think this cousin pays her attentions? I only suppose so. What else could a strapping chap of 21 mean with a fine wench of 17? And you say Dante has gone to the Catalans. He went before I came down. Let us go the same way. We will stop at La Réserve, and we can drink a glass of La Mague whilst we wait for news. Come along, said Caderousse. But you pay the score. Of course, replied Danglars. And going to the designated place, they called for a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. Père Pamphile had seen Dante pass not 10 minutes before, and assured that he was at the Catalans. They sat down under the budding foliage of the planes and the sycamores, in the branches of which the birds were singing their welcome to one of the first days of spring. These slimy buttholes just stick into the shadows. Don't they, have their own lives to occupy themselves with? I get having animosity towards someone if they, persistently make trouble for you, but going out of your way to get dirt on them and look for opportunities to take them down? Yuck. All right, yesterday I said that I would start to look into some more of the city details of Marseille, what each of these places mean, what their feel is. So La Réserve seems to be a local spot in Marseille. It's possibly an inn or a tavern, some sort of social gathering place where you can get drinks, obviously wine, have conversation. No, there doesn't seem to really be any indication over its reputation yet, unless we want to take the fact that Danglars and Caderousse go there as evidence of maybe its shady nature. Should I earmark as well this idea of the cultural norms of marrying your cousin? Obviously that's not a thing in 2025, but back in the day that was pretty common. I think we all know that. I really liked the last detail of this chapter where Danglars and Caderousse have been talking about this conspiracy to take Dante down, this real dark and dirty sort of thing that's starting to emerge, and they go and sit down in this bar outside under some beautiful trees where birds are singing their song as the first day of spring is here. The contrast between the darkness and the light there. I don't know, it's some very indirect foreshadowing. That juxtaposition of those things really makes for some delicious texture of this story. All right, so as we conclude this chapter, we're entering into a tavern. Will there be a brawl of some sort, you think? Will Dante turn out to be some sort of expert brawler? We've heard tell of his body. A man that's good with a ship is good with his fists. Is that a saying? Sorry, my mind is wandering into Shaw Brothers kung fu flicks. Let's recap this chapter. Daddy Dante is ill, perhaps being exploited by Caderousse. We don't really know the full extent of their relationship. Though, side note, I did find it funny when Caderousse called Daddy Dante's father Dante's. I felt seen by the book. Dante is excited to see Mercédès, expecting to get married to her now that he's back. Caderousse and Danglars want to destroy Dante. Wow, lots of things being set up as we continue through this book. Tomorrow we will dive into chapter 3, but just a reminder before we wrap up this chapter, if you want the story-only audio of these episodes, I'm releasing each chapter as a standalone episode on our network's Patreon, which you can get for as little as $1 a month. Your contributions go to help support our ad-free, artist-owned shows and really grow the network. I'm thinking of some other bonus content to put on there as well over time. Perhaps my research or annotated chapters, something like that. Let me know if there's something you would be interested in. But until tomorrow, when we start chapter 3, this is The Count of Monte Cristo, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye! The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.